Hi guys, so today we're going to make the little gift card holder you just saw in the thumbnail. I have no idea where I'm going with this. I actually started writing down some numbers, which you know is not usual for me. I usually do that here with you guys, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and I didn't want to go back and forth in my mind with you guys, you know, sitting here watching that and then maybe be a little confused. So we're going to do a little gift card holder. I'm probably going to use the Spellbinders paper trimmer, although you can do this on anything, you know, cutting it and then putting it on like a just using like a scoreboard or something. But what I want to do is just make something simple that looks kind of like, not a wallet, but just like a little closure kind of thing that closes up on a gift card. So I had to measure a gift card. I came up with that. They're like 3 1/8, I wanted to say, by 2 1/8. Maybe 3 3/8, that's what it was. 3 3/8 by 2 1/8 is generally like this size one, so I'm assuming they're all about the same. So we have that, and then I kind of came up with some numbers that I thought would fit, and I want to make like a little pocket. It might be a little basic, a little rough, but I think it'll be cute. And then of course you decorate with whatever dies, ephemera, other things that you have. So yeah, so if anything that I used, you know, is available, I'll link in the description box. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. Obviously we have dies and other cute things to make things like this, but this is just going to be a quick, I think, possibly tutorial. So I have these things written here that, so it folds over and then it has like a flap that tucks in. And oh, you know, I just thought about that. Ooh, shoosh. Let me see if I can make this work, because in my mind I thought, oh yeah, the flap can be on this side, but the flap can't be on that side. It needs to be over here. Pretty much the way I drew it. So this comes over and then the flap goes in there. Actually, that'll still work. Why am I doubting this? I don't know in my mind. Oh, you know what it was? This little piece over here. We need this to glue down, and I need a little tab for that. So maybe we're not cutting it from one piece. Maybe I might still need to add a little piece of something here for a glue tab. That might make a difference. But okay, well, either way, in my mind I thought, oh yeah, that's perfect, because we're going to make this into a pocket that curves, you know, scored up like this. But anyway, so in my mind, the finished product is going to be 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So 2 1/2 inches deep, 3 3/4 inches wide. But you're going to have a flap that comes in front, and then this little flap tucks in the back. And I would tuck it in. So we are probably going to have to add a little something here. And if we do that, we might as well add it everywhere. But we'll see. I'll probably still... It'll make sense in just a minute. I just realized the error of my ways, okay, guys? So anyway, and then when I came up with some numbers, I'm like, oh, that's 8 3/4. I'm like, oh, 8 3/4. That's kind of a weird number because paper's 8 1/2 by 11. Let's make it so it's 8 1/2 easy. So it's going to be 8 1/2 inches wide, and then we're going to need it to be 3 1/2 inches tall, because this is going to be a 1-inch flap that we're going to bring up. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab some paper that is 8 1/2 inches wide and 3 1/2 inches tall. And I'll be right back. Why don't we do this together? So 8 1/2 inches, it's already 8 1/2 inches. We're going to cut it at 3 1/2. This can be any number you want. You know, you can come up with whatever you like, maybe something similar in design, but if you want the pocket deeper or whatever it is. 3 1/2 inches tall. Now, I haven't really come up with my numbers for my scoring, but it's going to be pretty easy. So I did initially want the little flap that's going to come around to tuck in to close this to be 1 1/4 inches, but then that would be 8 3/4. So I thought, okay, 1 inch is plenty. So on this side, I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to score it at 1 inch. So just put it here. I have not come up with these numbers, so we're doing this together, guys. 1 inch, okay? Score line, that's 1 inch. And then from there, we need it to be 3 3/4 inches further in, so 4 3/4. So I'm gonna bring this to 4 3/4 and score that. And that's pretty much all the scoring we're doing on this side. And then we're gonna turn it either way, it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna go this side and score it 1 inch in. So 1 inch again, and give it a score. So my idea with having all this extra is that we're just going to take this piece, and that's going to be our, where we're going to tuck our card in. So we're going to get rid of this portion. We don't need it. And then if this flap was on this side, I would have left this little piece to help us with the glue tab, but we need to get rid of it at this point. So I'm actually going to score it here so you can see what I'm talking about. So I want this to be, basically I'm going to score it this way, sorry. So I just scored it inward so that this part can go around here, okay? Now, as you can see, my scoring and my cutting was a little bit off. So what I'm gonna do is trim a little bit of this off because I need that to tuck over it. And again, I'm kind of eyeballing at a certain point when I'm doing this. So I'm gonna take a little bit off of this. Hopefully your measurements were a little closer so that, you know, you can do this. Okay, there we go. So that's gonna come around here, okay? And it's gonna tuck back in here. So that's why we have that. This is going to make our pocket. So I'm just going to quickly cut this away. We want to get rid of that. We don't need it. And we don't need most of this, but I'm going to cut all the way down because we do need some of it to help us make our little glue tab. So on this one side, we're going to have to make a glue tab for the other side. I'm coming all the way down, and I said I was going to do this on my trimmer. I could have totally put this on here and cut that nice and straight, right? Just put it back on here, line it up at 1 inch, and cut. I did it with scissors, okay? I still want this piece because it's going to help me make my glue tab for this to fold in and have a glue tab. So what I'm going to do is just cut a little bit and leaving like maybe a 1/4 inch there. Just leaving this little piece. And since that's going to be my glue tab, I'm just going to cut it away at an angle just so it's not too bulky there. And then even this side just to make it look nice and neat. So a little bit there and a little bit here. Okay. So now let's look at this. Let's go ahead and score that. This is going to fold in and glue there and hold our gift card essentially, right? I made it a little bigger than the gift card. And this goes over the front and we're going to score it nicer. I was just kind of practicing there. And this guy comes around, right? Okay. So we also need another little glue tab that's going to help us here on this side because this is going to be open if I don't. So I'm just going to take like this bit. Why not? Let's do this. Let's cut it from here. There's already a score line there. And that way it'll just become like a little glue tab for me. I'm just going to cut at an angle on either side just to make it less bulky. It's going to be hidden anyway, guys, so it doesn't really matter what this looks like. Okay? And for right now, since we haven't put this together quite yet, I'm going to just go ahead and glue this. And add it to this one side. Okay? Just for now, just on this side. Okay, look at that side. That looks pretty good. I'm going to let that set up for a moment. And I will be right back. We are going to need to cut a slit here for this part to come and tuck in here. Now, we can just look at this and eyeball it and say, oh, you know what? I know some people are more perfectionists. If that's the case, you're probably going to want to use a die. So for me, I was going to kind of line this up and say, okay, if we have this and line it up to like, oh, 1/2 inch and leave it on there and you can cut it, right? And that'll give you a good, kind of a good measurement. So I'm looking at where the score line is, touching 1/2 inch. Let's pretend. Let's put that down and we can cut that off. Now I can take this and do the same thing opposite side, or if you want it to be more exact, I mean where it's going to be a lot closer to the same, sorry, we can take this guy, place it here, get your scissors and just follow it, the same thing. So we just took that guy and we're just following the edge of it. And you just made a little flap that's nicer, a little sleeker, and all you need to do is tuck this in. When it comes around, make ourselves a little slit here. Now, we're all doing this by eye. You know, I measured it from the score line to 1/2 inch. Maybe you do something different. We need to know how big this is. So this opening, it's 1 1/4, which makes sense. So 1 1/4 slit. Now you're gonna look at this and say, where do you want to put that slit, right? So let me clear some stuff out and we'll get there and then we'll glue it all together. You can definitely use an X-Acto knife or whatever else you would like to use. So let's pretend this was in here. I'm going to start using my scoring tool to help me buffer this out and make it look nice. If that was there, I'm going to flatten that out as well as I can. And this guy came over here. We're going to make it nice and straight. Again, now at this period, at this time, it's going to be a little different because I've added some things, you know, we added that thickness over here on this side. I'm going to cover this so I don't really care that I got a little burnished kind of funky. And if I turn this over, and this guy is going to come over here towards this side. I don't want to do it too roughly. There. So we have it like this. Obviously your gift card is going to go in there. I'm going to make this a little bit less rough. Hold on. Yeah. It's a lot of thickness there, so I just want to do that. Okay. So if it's going to come in here, I'm going to want to make a slit here before I close this up. And we can kind of give it a measure and see where you think that little slit should be, and then about how big it should be, right? So if we're in here, that's like 7/8 of an inch. So if I make it at 3/4 of an inch in, like if I just eyeball this 3/4 of an inch in, and about 1.5 inches wide, right? So let me open this guy back up. I know it might be a little confusing, but 3/4 of an inch in. So I'm gonna look at this, line it up against here at 3/4 of an inch, and about 1.5 inches wide. Now our paper here, so we want to know how deep this was again. So I kind of forgot, so I'm gonna measure that. 2.5. Hello. And we want it 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna start 1/2 inch. Okay, so 3 3/4. Line this back up on 3 3/4. And on here, we're looking at our numbers on our guide. I'm gonna start at 1/2 inch or so. Okay. And bring it down to 2. Okay, so the number 2, just roughly right there. And we can give this a quick measure and make sure that it's correct as far as that going to hold this little flap. And it's just going to hold it because we're like, you know, this guy's about an inch flap, and I put it there at 3/4 of an inch. So that's going to hold it closed, okay? Ideally. All right, you can bring it up a little higher if you want to just bring it 1/2 inch in, you know, just 1/2 inch if you want a little bit more. Okay, and so let's go for it. So now I can glue these down, and that's our rough shape. So let me do this real quick. I might just take a little bit more off this bottom corner because I see that it just kind of wants to hang in there and bother things. Don't want that there. Let's close this guy up. So while I'm waiting for that to hold on here, let's talk again about our numbers. So I had a piece of paper that was 8.5 by 3.5. We scored at 1 inch. You can, you know, if you want to use your paper in the 11-inch direction, you can make it much bigger, however you want. And then at 4 3/4 inch. And then on the long side, we scored it at 1 inch in, right? And then we did our little cuts and measure and stuff. So what I'm going to do right now is actually grab some pretty papers and things. We're going to decorate the front of this guy, and that'll be our gift card holder. So a little early to pop this in here, but why not? So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy. I gave us a little bit of edge all around. You don't have to do that. If you want it to be closer, you can do that too. But I think that looks really great. Looks cute. You can see what the gift card is from, possibly. Like this one has a sentiment there instead, but very cute. So I'm going to grab some papers and I'll be right back. Gosh, you guys, I found this cute little paper that I had picked up recently, so I think I'll use that. And if I measure now, you know, obviously it's 2.5. It's like 3 3/4. I don't even know. Yeah, that's where we were, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece of paper that is a little bit smaller than 2.5, a little bit smaller than 3 3/4. I mean, this is just the cutest paper. Look at those little guys. Oh my gosh. That's a really tough choice. Look at, oh my goodness. Ooh, I kind of like this one, but the images are kind of big, so what if I don't get too many images? Maybe we'll do the gingerbread paper. And then we can also, you know, if you want, once you open it up, you can put some here too. You know, something to think about. I think I'll just leave it just the way it is. But I'm going to cut a piece of paper that's 2 3/8 by 3 5/8. And I'll be right back. Guys, that is so cute. I don't know that I have other ephemera that kind of coordinates with this, and maybe I do. I know I have some cute stuff from, was it Craft Consortium last year? That was gingerbread people. Obviously, we have dies that are gingerbread people and things like that. But whatever it is that you want to do to repeat that, maybe around the corners, that would look really cute too. But for now, I'm going to put this on here. And, oh, I had some cute things too that people gifted me, like in the swaps. Let me go see what I have to kind of pop on top of this. So thank you, whoever sent this. I don't recall. Obviously, it was just kind of like an extra thing they had sent me, and I've had it since. And I just brought it over here, and I mean, look at that. The Noel fits on here perfect. There's gingerbread people in here. There's red wording. There are, what's it called? Candy canes in here. How cute. Little peppermints. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Let me pop these things out because some of them I can't quite grab, and I'll be right back. So there was stuff in there. Again, close it up. Just have a little flap here. You guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. I mean, it is, you know, something that you really have to kind of go along with. It works out. Looks really cute. You know, decorate it however you like. Look how cute. I mean, I don't really want to cover up too much of these little guys, but how cute would that be? Maybe the Noel, and then a couple little guys. Why not? I was gonna grab these things, but again, I want some of the faces to show too. So, I mean, oh. Hold on. Just walked in from school and brought his instrument and plopped it down there. All right, so, okay, let's go with Noel. I'm gonna glue that down, and then I'll see what I want to do with the other little characters. This is so cute. Let me just put some glue all behind this if it would. Okay, now someone's ringing the doorbell. I'm telling you, always busy. Okay, I'm gonna get some glue on the back of this and just glue it down. Okay, guys, sorry, I got some glue on that, and let's see if anybody else would like to come to the door. All right, and so that is cute. And then, I mean, if I put these little guys here, that'd be cute. I don't have to use everything. I was just thinking that would be kind of cute. And let's do that. Let's glue these little guys together. Okay, the glue didn't want to come out. Now that I have it coming out, it's like, oh, you want glue? And it's really out. Let me put some dimensionals on the back of this. I'm gonna glue this guy down and I'll be right back. So I put some dimensionals on the back of those little guys, and I'll just put them like, I don't know, right in here. See, I would want to put them over here, but you know, I don't want to cover up more stuff, so that's fine. Actually, can I move this down still? Nope. Okay, there we go. How about like that? And a fun little angle. So a cute little gift card holder. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and are having a great day. All right, guys, thanks so much. Thanks for watching, and thank you for whoever sent these precious little items that I used today. And I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.